What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you hear anything in the background, it's because I'm making some bone broth over here and then I have dinner over here being cooked right now. This is going to be just like a video where I honestly tell you guys how I've been feeling for my channel. I know that I created a video kind of like this in the early part of the year, but I still struggled with just YouTube in general and just ideas that I had, and I really want to kind of let go of just these like feelings that I've been having and explain to you guys like what's been going on. I guess I just wanted to make this video so that way you guys knew how I was feeling, because I know I might lose, you know, some of the followers that I have right now, and I know that that's not just what YouTube is about, although it's hard to like get out of the mindset. But okay, keto has made me fat and keto has made my husband fat, and we are struggling so much with feeling so restricted that I just got to a place where we both just could not be keto any longer. We could go like one day being keto and the next day we just didn't want to follow it anymore, and then we would like go back to keto and then we just didn't want to follow it anymore. I was talking to one of my good friends the other day because I was explaining just how I was feeling with like having to feel like I had to be keto because of this channel, and how that wasn't really my intention in the first place when creating this channel. And everything that I told her, she was like, you just need to like tell everybody on YouTube just how you're feeling. So that's what we're going to do. I'm kind of going to go through a little bit of my like dieting history and story. And so yeah, I've been dieting for a lot of years. I actually think I started dieting at least 10 years ago, because that's when I was first in culinary school and I was eating a lot of stuff, obviously. And that's when I first kind of started my calorie restriction type of diets. And I did lose weight. I was like bike riding. I did the calorie restriction, but I just didn't quite believe in the calorie restriction. And that's when I got to like the highest weight I had ever been. And I ended up moving back in with my mom. My mom is like so disciplined when it comes to stuff like that. And so we all decided as a family to go gluten-free. We were gonna go gluten-free for a whole entire year because some of my family members were having some problems, and we were like, this is right when Wheat Belly got published and all that. So we were like, let's go gluten-free for a year. That's when I really started getting into like healthy foods in general, and I guess if you want to say like fad diets too. So we went gluten-free for a whole year. I dropped 40 pounds. Like it just like fell off. I wasn't exercising. I don't really like to exercise, and I was just working my normal jobs, completely eating gluten-free. We did not cheat at all throughout that year, and I was eating a lot of like grains and healthy foods. My mom grew a garden, and that's like what we ate. We also did a sugar detox. It was a 21-day sugar detox, and from that I actually learned how to drink my coffee without having sugar in it, because I was drinking like, you know, the creamers that had a lot of sugar and stuff. And so 21 days of not having any added sugars, it was almost like Whole30. And to this day I still drink my coffee. I just love it with cream and with no sweeteners. So that was a really good thing for me to do. After that, I found Paleo and I found Whole30, and I ended up starting to do those types of plans. So I went from like gluten-free to like Paleo and Whole30. So it got like, you know, a little bit more strict, and I ended up like being down, I think like 9 pounds my first Whole30. So I went from over 180 some pounds down to 140 pounds. I was looking so good and I was doing it without any effort. Like I wasn't exercising. I had gotten like paleo cookbooks, and I really enjoyed cooking because of my degrees in culinary arts, and that's what I was doing. I didn't feel super restricted because I was just like so excited about all these new foods that I was getting to eat and make that no one kind of heard before, you know, like, oh, gluten-free baking, like that was hardly a thing at that time. And so yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. I met my husband, and he also lost 40 pounds in just a couple months after having met me. He stopped eating like all the processed food. He was eating like Chick-fil-A, and he worked at a movie theater and was eating popcorn and sodas and stuff. And then when he met me and we got married very quickly, he had easily dropped 40 pounds just eating the paleo foods that I was cooking. Now back then, there wasn't processed paleo foods. I was making everything from scratch. So if I made paleo bread, if I made paleo donuts or anything like that, like Brittany Angel's cookbook was one of my favorites, every last crumb. And literally you were making everything from scratch. You couldn't go to the freezer section and buy, you know, paleo donuts or anything like you can now. So after that, then I feel like we kind of started eating just too many like potatoes and sweet potatoes, I guess. I don't know. We also lived in a house, an old farmhouse. We lived there for almost a year, and we found it was filled with mold, and I actually kind of like got very depressed. We also were trying to get pregnant at the time, and that was going on my second year of trying to get pregnant and realizing that like we weren't getting pregnant. And so all of those things mixed together was not a good mix. Like we ended up moving out of that farmhouse, thankfully, after we kind of realized that it was filled with mold. And I think that that had an effect to do with like my health in general and my mental health in general, our relationship, all that kind of stuff. That was definitely a very like dark year, or I think we might have been there for like 8 or 9 months. In that time is when keto started coming out, and I found Leanne Vogel and kind of her like more healthier approach to keto, and I got her like the keto diet cookbook, or the keto diet I think is what it was called, and I was fascinated by like what she was saying and about carbs and hormones, and I felt that I needed to fix my hormones in order to get pregnant. So I followed her meal plan in the back of that book for a month, and by the second month I actually was pregnant. Like I got pregnant naturally, and that was after 2 years of trying. So I was so shocked, and I couldn't believe that I got pregnant naturally, and I was like, wow, keto is definitely what did this for me. Like it fixed my hormones, and I need to be keto like for forever now. I did miscarry at 9 weeks, and I have like my miscarriage story if you guys are interested, and I have other like infertility stories and IUIs and stuff like that that I've talked about before. And so I think from like that perspective, it was kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but like from that, it's almost like I told myself like I have to be keto or I'm never going to get pregnant. And that was also right when I first started my YouTube channel. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna be keto. I have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna talk about keto stuff. And keto was getting like very popular at the time. And I wanted my YouTube channel to be a lifestyle channel because I love watching lifestyle channels. But because I was doing so many keto things and a lot of people are asking for keto things, it just so happened that the majority of my videos were pretty much keto videos, and those were the ones that were doing well. And that's kind of just like how the last 3 years my channel has turned into like the majority of a keto channel. Fast forwarding now, that was 3 years ago, and I still have not been pregnant again. We got IUIs done, and we found out like there actually wasn't anything wrong with my hormones. It's actually my husband that has the problem with infertility. Not saying that I'm like perfect or anything. I might have a problem. I always think that maybe my thyroid is off, even though my doctor said it wasn't, or I kind of deal with some gut health issues. And so yeah, I am 28 years old now. My husband is 25. And each and every year we just keep gaining more weight. So at the time we met and got married, like I was 140 some pounds, and now I'm in my 170s again. So I'm like 172-ish, and the highest weight that I've been has been like, I think 184 maybe might have been the highest. And so I'm getting close again to that like high weight, and I like get so frustrated because like here I am trying to be keto and like buying the expensive, you know, keto sweeteners and not being able to go out and eat everything that everyone else is eating. And I'm still just getting fat. Like I'm still just sitting here getting fat. And like, I know that everyone, like we're all supposed to be like body positive and everything. And I know I'm not like incredibly overweight compared to some people, but most of my weight goes to my stomach, and I get bloated like so often from everything. And so it makes me look like I'm pregnant even though I'm not pregnant, and then people will ask me that, and it's just like a whole fiasco type of thing. Like I don't look good in most clothes if my belly is like bloated out. So I've been just very, very frustrated, and actually people that I've looked up to have come to me recently about how like they don't follow keto anymore, or they don't believe in keto anymore. And I've like read more and more things about how like as a woman you definitely shouldn't be on keto long term. And since I don't have a huge amount of weight, or I'm not like diabetic or anything like that, I know that keto can be helpful for those things, but I actually think that I might be harming my body more being keto long-term like I am. It obviously is not helping me with my weight loss, and I've been having more and more gut issues over the years. And I also, because I've been doing a lot of like videos that I know that you guys like love to see, like the keto bento boxes, and even like me trying out like meal kit delivery services and different products like that, I feel like the majority of my diet has become very much processed food. Like, you know, I've been eating so much cheese because fathead dough, like to make a lot of the cool keto treats, you're eating so much cheese, and I just don't think that that is healthy long term. With coming into all of that, I have just been so like, I just don't even know what to do, and I've been trying to think about it over the last couple weeks, and I decided to actually ferment and start my own sourdough starter. And I made sourdough bread the other day, which had me stumble upon all of the like homestead recipes that I used to like love looking through. And so my sourdough bread turned out great. And can you guys even believe it? I've been married to my husband for 5 years, and I have never made him homemade regular bread ever. And like, I went to culinary school, like I love baking so much, and when I made sourdough bread the other day, that was the first time my husband ever had me like had my bread, like homemade bread. I could not believe that I have not made that for my husband. I also made a homemade roasted tomato soup that day, and so I literally spent hours making this. It was actually a lunch before I went to work because my husband was off, and I, you know, had made the dough the night before. I had fermented it overnight. I proofed it in the morning, and I baked the loaf in the morning, and I made this fresh roasted tomato soup, and then we sat down and we ate this fresh out of the oven bread. And the whole rest of the day, I just felt like so incredibly satisfied and nourished. It's so hard to explain. Like, it wasn't like, you know, I went to a restaurant and I ate something unhealthy, or it wasn't like I went to McDonald's and picked up something, and it wasn't even that I was following a fad diet or something, you know, that's super high in vegetables and fiber and stuff like that. Like, it was just fresh sourdough bread and roasted tomato soup, and it was so good. And the whole entire day I just felt so good, and that just kind of made me think over these last couple of weeks that I want to go back to the basics. I also, like, I want to, I don't know, this is so hard to explain because I just feel like so many people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's not keto anymore, like I'm leaving, I don't know. But I just want to almost like do farm to table, homestead type of things, but I also want this channel to be a lifestyle channel. I don't want to be dictated by what YouTube thinks I should do, or what's popular, or what I think people want, if that's not what I want. And that's how I've been feeling with my YouTube channel, is like, I was scared. My keto bento box videos are doing so well, and my channel has been growing so well recently, and I'm afraid, like I am afraid to walk away from keto because that's what's made my channel successful. And I feel like if I switch it up, a lot of people are going to leave and my channel isn't gonna grow anymore and I'm just gonna be like caught in this like middle thing where I'm making videos and no one's watching them. But in saying that, I am going to change up my channel. You guys know that I am doing foster care, and so I do want to obviously have some foster care videos. Like, I know I can't have like the kids on, but I do want to talk more about foster care. We also are moving. We sold our house and we bought a new house closer to our jobs, which is great because we won't have to drive an hour to work every day. And so I want to have moving vlogs and organization and, you know, more minimalist videos because I do really like those. I bought a bike recently. It was a used bike, but I bought a bike, and so I want to start bike riding and going to the farmer's market. And I decided to re-sign up for raw milk here because we're allowed to do that in Virginia, where you like sign up for a herd share. So I'm getting raw milk and raw cream starting next week again. And there's just a lot of like really cool things that are going to be happening that I want to document on my channel. But I always feel like I can't document them because they don't fit into the keto lifestyle. But I want this to be my lifestyle. I want this to be my life. I don't want to dictate what I'm eating and what I'm filming and what I'm doing because of a searchable word on YouTube, if that makes any sense. So I hope you guys are excited for this. I hope you stay around because yeah, there's gonna be so much more. And eventually, if I ever do get pregnant, like, I want this to be a motherhood channel. Like, we are open to adopting for fostering, and so especially with moving to a new house, I'm hoping that that's going to be very soon. And so yeah, I even feel like this more homesteady, nourished food is even better for children. Like, I don't want to be having, you know, my foster kids, like, I don't want to give them the processed foods in the store, but I also don't want them to have to eat keto. I want them to have, you know, mashed potatoes with roasted garlic and a roasted chicken that's from the farm down the road, and homemade yogurt and, you know, fermented sourdough bread. Like, that's what I want to nourish myself and my husband and my kids on. But in saying that, I wanted to show you guys really quick. I picked up this book at the library and I'm super excited about it because it says Farm to Table Recipes for the Traditional Foods Lifestyle. And it talks about the research of Weston A. Price. So I wanna read more about Weston A. Price, but it talks about how the traditional foods diet avoids processed ingredients but allows meat, animal fat, and grains. It embraces cultured dairies such as kefir and yogurt that contain beneficial bacteria, fermented foods such as sauerkraut and kombucha that are rich in probiotics, and organ meats that are packed with vitamins and minerals. It also celebrates locally grown foods. By choosing ingredients from nearby sources, you create a stronger connection to your food and have a better understanding of what you're eating and how it was produced. That's what I believe in. Like, ultimately, that is what I believe in. And especially with, like, if I'm fermenting my own foods or eating a lot of probiotic rich foods, I do think that that's going to help my gut heal. And right now I'm trying to do like sourdough bread, so that way it's not as hard for my gut to digest. But maybe I can do a whole sourdough video in the future when I get good at it. I'm not a pro yet, but I'm really excited to look more through this book and actually like make some of the stuff in it. So if you guys want to see a video about that, let me know. I could do like a review about it, maybe cook some recipes out of it. You definitely let me know in a comment down below. But yeah, so that's why I went to the farm today and I got some of the beef bones and I'm making a broth from that, and I'm really excited for that. And then I have a roasted chicken in the oven right now with some carrots, and I'm roasting a bunch of bulbs of garlic so I can make it like garlic mashed potatoes. But I just don't want to feel restricted. I don't want to feel that I can't be who I want to be, and I really want to show you guys everything about my life. I really want to show you guys that I love baking bread. I love the holidays when I can make actual real foods and not have to make keto things that hardly even taste the same. I realized that the other day when I was talking to my husband. Like, I told him, I was like, you don't even know what I'm even capable of. Like, the only cooking that, like, I mean, he thinks I cook well, but the only cooking he knows is when I make keto cakes or keto bread or, you know, things like that. He doesn't know that I can actually make these real things that taste fantastic. And, you know, I want to even show him that side of me, and I want to show you guys that side of me. I don't want to just like claim that I'm a homesteader because I'm not. I don't really garden very much, and I definitely don't have any animals, and I'm not going, well, I have my pug, but I'm not gonna have chickens or anything like that. But I do want to support all of my like local farms and do all that stuff. Maybe sign up for a CSA and get like a share of a farm in the future. And so yeah, I hope you guys are really excited for that. I just want to focus so much on eating whole, real foods locally and trying to make them from scratch as much as possible. And I am so excited. I have another batch of sourdough bread that I just mixed together, and I'm gonna let that ferment for 1 or 2 days. And I'm so excited, like my hands just feel like I'm creating something good here, and I just cannot wait. Like, it is so cool, you guys, to make something with your hands and eat it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm gonna stop talking now. I hope that you guys are really excited for our move and moving vlogs and a new house and a house tour and just all of that kind of stuff, and I can finally eat potatoes without having to feel guilty. So yes, for all the new changes. I'm going to drink my mint tea with some grass-fed milk, a little bit of honey, and some collagen, because that's how I roll now. And I will see you guys very soon in another video. Bye everyone.